Greetings, fanboys. I'm Jared.
And this is Brandon.
And we are very excited to come at you guys today with one of the first video reviews on the internet of the awesome Dark Knight Returns Batman from Mattel in the new Batman Unlimited line. This thing isn't really available right now at any of the major retailers. However, online retailers have been selling them, and I got this guy off of eBay.
I want to take a minute here, and I want Jared to help me elaborate on just how big a deal this is to us. I would like to say first, we're not blind to the fact that there is an action figure of the Dark Knight Returns Batman. It's been available for a very long time at this point. DC directed an entire series, in fact, Batman, Superman, Robin, and the Joker. And they're very good toys, but they just aren't, they're statuettes, like a lot of DC Direct action figures from the time. But here we have, really the very first action figure of the Dark Knight Returns Batman, which was just the most seminal comic book in our lives, I think. I don't remember another comic book having that sort of impact on me. A lot of people will say Watchmen or something like that, and we love Watchmen too, but this is really it. It cemented in our brains what the character was really all about.
Now we're going to be using our close look cam to get a better look. So let's first have a look at this incredible head sculpt. Now, as we can see, no expense has been spared on making a really great translation of that Miller artwork. We have the extremely large square jaw, the teeth are being grit, and the beady kind of eyes, and the very, very small ears at the top of the head. This is how Batman appears from issue 2 pretty well onward from this kind of head sculpt. The first issue, actually, Batman looks pretty different.
Yeah, fairly traditional in the first issue, in fact.
Now, we go on down, and Batman has a very large kind of barrel chest. We'll talk a little bit more about that later. And then we have the shoulders and the arms are appropriately huge for Batman, as at this point he was much larger in the comics than he typically is. And then we have sort of these smaller hands that sort of add to that illusion of all the bulk. And of course we have this incredible looking utility belt piece. I'd like everybody to get a good look at that. The sculpting goes all the way around, and on the back you might be able to see you have lots of great detail. Unlike the traditional Batman utility belt, this utility belt does not have a buckle at the front of it. It's all pouches and storage.
Batman is loaded for bear. He has no time for fashion.
And here we have the awesome boots. Very nicely sculpted. Awesome. Alright, now on the back we have the really, really nice cape, sculpted to flow. And it even has the Dark Knight Returns scalloping at the bottom that is different than other Batman capes.
Now, if you're a big toy fan, you will no doubt recognize this Batman is very familiar, and you might not get it right off the bat, although it's pretty common knowledge now with the internet, but he shares practically his entire body sculpt with the Buck body for Masters of the Universe Classics, the online-only MattyCollector.com toy line, the new He-Man line. You can see right off that the arms are the same. The Batman does have new gloves, but other than that, they're just the He-Man arms. Now, the top chest is different. This is something that people have really been wanting in the Masters of the Universe line, actually, is a plain clothed chest, because most of the He-Man characters have bare chests. Then the abdomen is the same. If you flip up He-Man, you can see under his armor. Now this is, in fact, He-Man with a belly button, but this is a pre-made sculpt. This has been used for Masters of the Universe before. There's no belly button sculpted into Batman here. Underneath, they have the same pelvis, but the way that the Masters of the Universe buck works is that they tool a rubberized piece to go over top. We comically refer to them as diapers most of the time. And you can see Batman, just like He-Man has a loincloth. Batman's got the trunks and the belt. Then the legs, completely the same. And then, again, just like the gloves, Batman's got new boots.
Alright, now the next detail of the sculpt I would like to talk about is that I must have grabbed the wrong Batman figure. I'm sorry. It's just.
Okay, here now. Okay.
Yeah, I think you found the right one. Can you bring this one?
Here is
the finer point of this.
This one. This is Dark Wolf from Fire and Ice. I'm sorry.
Oh, sorry, wrong figure. Yeah, let's get that switched around. Folks, the next thing we'd like to talk about is the paint application. The paint application on Batman is about as clean as it comes when it comes to any sort of mass market product. As a matter of fact, I cannot show you any sort of slop anywhere on this figure. All the paint lines are extremely clean cut. There's no problem whatsoever. As a matter of fact, the only small defect mine has is a small little indention, almost like a little cut. You see that in the back of the head where it's discolored very slightly? And I'm sure it was just a product of being sort of nicked in the factory. But I'll easily be able to just take a marker and Sharpie right over it.
That being said, um, part of the advantage this figure has is that there aren't a lot of paint applications, but we're familiar with Mattel's track record. Sometimes figures with practically no paint applications come up pretty botched. So uh, consider that this symbol could very easily be off center, or could have a big stray line coming off of it or something like that. So just really still you know
Count your
yeah,
blessings.
exactly. Despite the minimal applications, it's still impressive. If you're familiar with Masters of the Universe Classics, of course, you'll know the articulation is very heavy, a lot of points. Your necessary articulation is here. You've got hinges at the shoulders and cuts going into the chest. You got a cut at the bicep, hinge at the elbow, a cut at the wrist of the glove, so it's not cut coming off of the down off the elbow, but at the glove. His head's on a ball joint, which you can take off. Uh, Same for the other arm. He's got a very deep ab crunch. Well, not really far backwards. You can go
Well,
backwards
the cape
a good
mostly
ways.
hinders it going
Yeah.
too far back.
You go quite a bit forward, which is great for posing. He's got a pretty good cut at the waist. The pouches on the belt come up and create kind of a lip, so there's a little bit of a mobility problem there, but not. He can still turn around a little bit. He's got hinges and cuts at the hip. He's got a cut at the upper part of the thigh, a single hinge at the knee, a cut at the top of the boot coming down off the calf, and a hinge at the ankle.
If you already hadn't seen enough proof already, more proof is in the articulation, as it were. He-Man and Batman share just exactly the same kind of body. Just like Batman, He-Man has a cut right here at the boot. As you can see, He-Man and Batman both share that exact same cut. Now, once again, uh, single joints at the knee here. Batman and He-Man both have the exact same joint. It's constructed the same way. And He-Man does not possess actually as deep an ability to sway back and forth with that hinge at the middle of the chest. That's because Batman does have this new chest piece on the top, and it does allow more mobility. Also, He-Man can sort of look up and down, but Batman actually has a really deep ability to look up and down, and a lot of great ability to turn side to side. Now, you may have seen it earlier, folks, kind of the fun we were having, but thankfully, Batman has no problem losing his head. And it's very, very easy to pull off. You won't have any problems. Mostly, I found that a lot of my Masters Classics heads will go on without any sort of difficulty. But a few of them, you may want to be careful. Some of the holes at the bottom of my Masters heads were a little small for this peg. And I felt like it was putting a little too much pressure on this. So be careful that you don't pull this thing out accidentally. But, for customization, have a little fun. Skeletor Batman would be a blast. I put Whiplash's head on him the other day, and that looked just awful. See, lots of fun times to be had, and of course, great custom potential as well. If you really wanted to create a Bruce Wayne head, maybe based on one of the others.
The other very good one is Icarius, the character from the New Adventures of He-Man. Flipshot, actually, he was originally known. His unmasked head has a very strong resemblance to Val Kilmer. So if you wanted your funny Batman Forever head on a Dark Knight Returns body, there's your perfect
For the two of you
opportunity.
out there that really wanted Val Kilmer to play Dark Knight Returns Batman,
Mm-hmm.
because I thought Val Kilmer's pretty good as regular Batman,
Yeah.
but Dark Knight Returns Batman,
Although he's definitely fat enough now to be Dark Knight Returns
if
Batman.
he could move it from his gut
if they
to
could,
up here,
if they could build him some kind of a truss to
you have to
morph
rig it.
his body fat
Yeah,
into the muscle, that would work. That's it.
that's all this video is about. Actually, it's not a toy review. I'm just gonna talk about how fat Val Kilmer has gotten.
Demeaning him. Yes.
Right.
Have you seen his new movie? It just came out on video today.
No.
I didn't either. Nobody will. Batman comes with one accessory, and very
Get ready.
it is a batarang. If you can see it here, it's pretty good juxtaposed to my face. It's a very simple batarang.
As you can see, Batman gets his batarangs from China.
Yeah. Okay. Let's see the
The non-Chinese
yeah.
side of the batarang.
Here's the American side of the batarang. This is an old sculpt. I've seen this in other figures before. For the life of me, I don't remember what they were, but I know I've got a couple of them laying around already.
Thankfully, the batarang fits very snugly in one of Batman's hands. As you can see, Batman has a great grip on it. It's not going anywhere. Perfect for posing. Of course, you probably have a million 6-inch scale batarangs by now. At least
And
I'd hope you
grappling
do.
guns and anything
Yeah,
else.
anything else you need. So it's not really much of a tragedy that Batman doesn't come with any accessories. Let's also keep in mind that this figure will now cost you $27 on the Matty website without shipping. But this figure, if you buy it at Walmart, which it's not available at just yet. Let's hope by the time you're watching this, it's around. If you can find it, $16. So I mean, you tell me what the better value is.
You tell me what's ethical. Okay.
Um, Comparison time. Hopefully we won't get sued.
Yes. Sorry, Pixel Dan.
Sorry, Pixel Dan.
I tell you what, not only do we appreciate Pixel Dan's coverage of Toy Fair, it means he's had no time to review anything. He probably would have beat us to the punch on this if he was not busy with that. So, yeah, there you go. Okay, here is Modern Batman. This is a pretty good. This is the most logical visual stylistic comparison we could think of. This is something like a skinny Dark Knight Returns Batman. Of course, Batman been pretty heavily influenced by Dark Knight Returns, by the Dark Knight Returns design ever since, off and on, and this is no exception. This is based on the old Four Horsemen line prior to DC Universe Classics with the Sinestro Corps Batman head. This was part of the early Batman Legacy stuff. But you can see visually pretty similar.
And as we can see, when they're stood up beside of each other, it's very obvious that this Batman uses the more 6 3/4 inch scale Masters of the Universe Classics body, because he is much larger than even this very large 6-inch Batman.
The original name of this figure was Crime Stopper Batman, and it's stuck with me ever since. This was the very first DC Universe Classics Batman, the first exposure we ever had to the DC Universe Classics buck, which was, I guess, the first time Mattel had used the buck system. Now they do it for Masters of the Universe, too. They did pretty soon after DC Universe. Here we have a very traditional 70s kind of Batman, very Neil Adams-like Batman compared. And you can see there's a pretty big world of difference in color palette, definitely, and certainly in scale.
It wouldn't be impossible to say that these guys were in the same scale, but as you can see, Batman here still towers over him quite a bit. The next Mattel Batman we're going to compare him to is the Toys R Us exclusive Arkham City alternate skin Batman, which was the classic detective skin. And as we can see, actually the Arkham City figures Mattel produced, which were in a 7-inch scale, I think,
Yeah.
actually sort of taller, really, than Dark Knight
Just
Returns Batman.
edges them out by a little bit.
So Beanpole Batman here beats out, a tough guy.
Beefcake
But I still
Batman.
think that he would definitely beat him to death in a fight.
Yeah.
Dark Knight Returns Batman for the win.
Sorry, Arkham City Batman. You're pretty tough, but you ain't that tough. So we're not company biased here. We have a DC Direct, or now DC Collectibles Batman. This is the Batman Incorporated basic Batman, and you can see pretty similar. DC Collectibles figures are supposed to be in 7-inch scale now, so you can really see, even though the Dark Knight Returns Batman is indeed in 6-inch scale, because he's supposed to be this much larger compared to figures that are truly 6 inches. He's in approximately the same scale as the 7-inch figures from DC Collectibles, which of course goes for Masters of the Universe Classics. It's really a 7-inch toy line.
Let's say, folks, that you're not going to wait on Mattel to produce, or maybe never produce, that Carrie Kelly Robin, and we can just use our old 70s style Robin from DC Universe Classics. And as we can see, it doesn't look terrible.
Mm-hmm.
Especially since Robin is so much smaller than Batman in The Dark Knight Returns. If you can overlook the fact that this is a man instead of a young girl, then hey, you've got yourself a Dark Knight Returns Robin.
Time for the ultimate litmus test.
I'm actually sort of nervous about this one because I don't know how it's going to work out. Is this the ultimate playset?
Oh goodness, I dare say. Here's a product. If you don't own this yet, why haven't you? It's like $20. Look at what you get for the cost of an action figure.
Go buy it. Right now they're offering it for $20. So remember, $20. Huh? This Batcave, pretty good, pretty good. Mm-hmm. This is the Power Attack Blast and Battle Batcave. Now, I want to show you guys a little something that I think you're going to find very enticing. Not that. Everybody watching? Look at that. Perfect. Ears just clear the top. Ears just clear the top. What does this mean? What does this mean? It means that on Amazon.com, these are going to instantly sell out. Look at, you want your Dark Knight Returns Batcave. Look at this. It looks just like the Batcave in The Dark Knight Returns.
Mm-hmm. Even though he can't use the elevator to save his life, and he could never ever fit in any Batmobile toy that you could possibly buy. This is his Batcave. This is his home now. He could ride the zip line totally. Whee!
It's Batman's power attack! It's
It's
Batman's
Batman's
power
power
attack!
attack.
Let's get with it! Robin, you were a good soldier, but not good enough! No! Come into my house! You come into my house!
Look, Bruce, I don't care that you're using them. I just like to know where you got the molds from.
Shut up!
Sweet. So freaking ripped, you can't even fit through the door. We'll wait till the store closes, then we'll come out of our little houses.
Go.
Whee! That's one for the blooper reel. What the?
So much for that.
I'm so ripped, you can't even fit through the door.
Don't buy the Batcave yet.